Hello and welcome to Yashvi's kitchen. Today we'll be making pineapple upside down cake, but this one is different than the regular ones. It has low sugar, more pineapple and uses whole wheat flour. So let's start with the cake batter. The first thing we'll need is 95 grams of powdered jaggery. So if you have jaggery that's not powdered, just make sure to powder it before you add it to the bowl. Then add 100 grams of canola oil. Make sure that's canola oil and not vegetable oil. Then add 80 grams of yogurt. Make sure the yogurt is well mixed before adding it. And once that's done, add half a teaspoon of vanilla essence to the bowl. Then take a whisk and whisk this entire thing together. It will take just a little bit of effort. It will take some time to combine, but just keep doing it for at least a minute or two. And until it's combined well and everything is mixed together properly. The mixture should look like this and have this sort of consistency as what you can see in the video. So that was the wet ingredients. Now in a separate bowl, we'll mix the dry ingredients together. So for this we need 160 grams of whole wheat flour, a half teaspoon of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Don't try to interchange them. You'll need the baking powder and soda as two separate ingredients in order to get the kind of fluffy and soft texture that this cake will have once it's baked. Once you're done with that, take a spatula and mix together all of the dry ingredients until they're well combined. Make a well within the dry ingredients in which you will then add the wet ingredient mix. Once that's done, you need to fold these two together properly. So what is folding? Folding is a technique that people use to mix together dry and wet ingredients, in which all they do is take the spatula. They use the spatula to go under the mixture and then sort of pull it up like a shovel, and then fold it over the entire thing, and then you just keep following that motion again and again, the way that you can see in this video. That's all you have to do. Don't worry if the mixture gets too dry, because it's supposed to be of that consistency. Just keep combining it properly and make sure that there are no dry bits of flour or anything. So make sure that the batter is perfectly combined. Then add 100 ml of water to this and mix it thoroughly. If it's not enough, then you can add a little more, as you will see me do in a few seconds. In the end, it should have a spreadable consistency. It shouldn't be too runny or thin. And since it's a whole wheat flour batter, it will not have ribbons the way that usually cake batters do, which are made with maida. Now a few other things. You can replace the whole wheat flour with maida if you want to. That's totally fine. The jaggery, unfortunately, I don't know if you can replace it exactly, because I haven't tried the recipe like that. So you can try it with brown sugar maybe, but I am not sure. And the very last and most important thing for whole wheat flour, I have tried doing this with the atta which we have at home to make rotis, but that one is not suitable for cakes, because for cakes you need a slightly more thin and lighter flour, and the one we use at home is usually a little more dense. So I'd suggest that you buy store-bought whole wheat flour, or pre-packaged whole wheat flour basically, because that will give you much better results in your cake, because otherwise the cake will turn out to be quite dense. And now it's time to prepare the pineapples. So this step is different than usual. This step is part of what makes the cake so different, because usually you'd see only those 4 big slices of pineapple placed in a certain way, but I'll show you a different way that will include a lot more pineapple and it will look much better. I saw it on some cake video many years ago, and since then I've been using it like this. So what you're supposed to do is, you need to take a whole pineapple and cut it into these kind of slices. And once that's done, then gather the sliced pineapples and stack them up like this. And then you're supposed to very carefully cut them in half. So the easy way to do this would be to just stack them up and then cut it all together straight down. And there you have it. Now we have lots of slices to make the cake look really pretty. So Next, we're supposed to take an 8-inch cake tin and cover it with butter. Don't forget to put butter. You can put oil also, but butter is better. Put about 1 to 2 tablespoons of caster sugar all over the base, and watch me almost forget to do that. Then arrange them in this rose type of pattern. It can be messy, that's fine, but just make sure that it's symmetrical. Make sure that the circle is not off center. Once that's done, place all the cake batter into the tin and just make sure that it's even on top. And after that, bake it at 175 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit in a preheated oven for about 30 minutes. If you need to adjust the temperature, cook it at 170 for 35 to 40 minutes. Don't do it at 180 degrees because such a high temperature will make this cake drier and it will not make it as soft. Once you take it out of the oven, let it sit for 5 minutes. Then run a knife around the edges and put a plate on top of it to overturn it. Please be careful as the tin might still be really hot, so make sure not to burn yourself. And just give it a tap once or twice so that the cake comes out for sure. And then lift it and ta-da! Doesn't it look really pretty? If there's any pineapples that are stuck onto the cake tin, you can just remove them and put it on like the way I've done over here. Now to cut it, if you don't want to struggle like I did, then use a serrated knife, which is like a bread knife, and cut it a little more patiently than me also. That's how you'll be able to cut it properly. The top will still be moist, so it may look a little funny, but don't worry, it is cooked through. And here is what the final slice looks like, what one slice of this cake looks like. It's a little bit messy, but you know, it's okay because it's still quite pretty. Now watch me put an obscene amount of powdered sugar on this for the aesthetic. I didn't realize that the pineapples would, like the pineapple juice would make it disappear. So don't do that. My cake ended up being way too sugary when I tasted it just because of the amount of powdered sugar I put on top of it. Finally, bite into it. This cake is chock full of pineapples and it's very moist. It's not too sweet and it can be eaten with ice cream, whipped cream, with your tea or coffee, you know, whatever really that you want to eat. So I hope you try it out and I hope that you enjoy the process. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment your questions. Subscribe if you liked it and have a wonderful day.